Hi there everybody, Boyd here with you once more, and we're back with you today for some more work on our DeAgostini Ford GT build. Today we're going to be working with parts pack 5, 6, and 7, so we're moving right along here. Today it looks like we're starting off working on the some of the engine details, so I'm excited about that. This is coming along really nicely, you guys. You can see we've got our little parts layout here. We've got our instructions in front of us. What I really like about these DeAgostini kits is the instructions for these are really nicely done and really clear with these nice color photos and step-by-step wording to guide you through the whole thing. So even beginning modelers will have a really easy time putting this together. So let's show you what we're working with. We're calling out here for at the very beginning of this for putting the throttle linkage together. So I've gone ahead and pulled these parts out of the package, and we have this little kind of chrome-plated crossbar here, and we have this linkage. We want to kind of line everything up the way they show it here in this photograph. So I'm just positioning everything, and it looks like we've got this detail here, this kind of extra little linkage piece you can see goes on the back side of this part. So we're just going to kind of lay this in here. Now these are just pins that press in here. There's no need for any gluing here. I tested these just a second ago, and they push down in there and they get nice and tight once you get all the way toward the bottom. So everything's good to go there. Again, it's optional. It's up to you if you want to use a little bit of glue. It won't hurt anything if you do decide to do that. Okay, let's get this one put in place here. And up next, we're going to be placing this inside the carburetor box. Okay, that went together really nice. So we'll get this part out here, line it up like they show it in the picture, and then this will get placed down on something like this. Make sure those pins down there completely bottom out, guys. You want those all the way down in there. I'm gonna have to get something to help me push down on that. They're fitting a little bit tight. Let's see if I can find something suitable here. This tip screwdriver should work. Okay. That one. Okay, that's down in there nice. All right, so now we're moving on. We've got these carburetor bodies here that need to go in next. Go ahead and get those out. Nicely painted parts in kind of a bronze color that you can see there. Really nice detail on those. All right, and then we're placing these. Looks like two, excuse me, two of them face this way. And these are definitely notched, so they'll only go in one way. Just like that. Okay. And there we go, that looks great. Okay, then we're on to the next page already. All right, what they're calling for next is the stacks to go up on top, these little velocity stacks. So it looks to me like we've got some fuel line that's going on here next. So I think what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to go ahead and put this fuel line on before we put the stacks on. I think it'll be a little bit easier that way. So the first thing we're doing here is we're threading the fuel line through this little kind of loop that you see right here. All right, we'll bring that in. We'll go ahead and pull that through. Okay, and then we've got these, you can see we've got these little sockets that are molded into our fuel line here, and this is supposed to press onto your fuel inlets on the carburetor, so we're working on that right now. Get a grip on this and we'll push it down on there. just right. A little bit difficult here. There we go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. This would be a lot easier to do if these were out in the open, but you've got to have the line fed through this little loop right here, so you have to do it this way, guys. You just have to work with it a little bit. It's not too difficult. Okay, we've got number 4 on there now. All right, and they want you to thread this this fuel line out of the box in a particular manner here. So it looks like this one on this side goes straight out like this. And goes straight forward. The other one comes around like this, over the top, and out the other side. Okay, there we have it, you guys. Now just go back and kind of straighten these back out again. And there's an up-close shot of the assembly. We've got some screws that go in here to hold this all together. Okay, so now we can start putting our stacks on. We'll go ahead and do that. Pretty impressive looking setup. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're ready to put these down. And again, these have a little slot that you can see right there on the edge. So you want to make sure that it goes into the corresponding slot on the carburetor body. Just like that. These are all dropping down there real nice. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like. Beautiful, you guys. Now what I'm going to be doing here in just a second, after I get this all together, we're going to show you a little extra detail we're going to add to this build here. I'm going to do a little bit of a wash on this and bring out some more of the detail, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let me go ahead and get this all attached. So we've got everything lined up there, it looks like. We've got this cover that goes over the top of everything, which is, I think is going to help me hold everything together. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Make sure that there's a, I guess it goes on there a certain way. Looks like it's supposed to snap in place. Just like that. Well, It doesn't drop down on there and touch all the way, so don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to just hold these with my fingers here. We have to turn this over and we have to install these screws, so let's get that done. I'm going to thread these in real quick. Again, using some of my lithium grease here to keep these parts from getting galled. There's the first one. No need to over tighten these guys. They just run them down in there until they're until they're snug. These are plastic parts, so you can strip them if you're not careful. I think we're going to have more than enough screws here, so that's always a good thing. Okay, just 4 more to go. Whoops, popped out of that one. I want to make sure I don't tighten that down in the wrong spot. All right, so we've got all that installed now, guys. I'll just kind of give you a nice up close look at that. So before we put our top cover on here, I'm going to mix up a quick batch of wash, and I'll be back real quick to show you how we apply that. Okay, you guys, well, I'm back with you again, and I've made up my wash here. Just show you really quick what I'm using, you guys. This is just some regular craft hobby paint, and this is the Anita's Black, and I just took that and put it in my little Dixie cup here and thinned it way down with some regular tap water, just so you can see the consistency of it here. I'll kind of show you what it looks like on the brush. I put 1 or 2 drops of Dawn dishwashing detergent into this, and what that helps it does is it kind of helps break the surface tension on that, and it'll apply a lot more even to our parts here. So we're not gonna bathe this thing in this stuff. We're just gonna go over it really lightly. I'm mainly gonna focus on the carburetor bodies here, and just kind of put, you know, bring a little bit of life to these things. Just make them look just slightly used a little bit, and it brings out the texture and the shadows on those, so it'll make them look a lot more realistic for you when you look at the model up close. Don't want to get a lot of it up on the chrome stack part up on top, just the bronze colored parts there on the lower section. Just go around that nice and even. And we're going to be doing a little bit of this here and there on the model, just to bring a little bit extra realism to it. I'm not sure how well you guys are going to be able to see that, but it'll all blend right in when it's dry, and it'll look really nice on there. I do like the fact that they give you this little cover here. It hides some of the detail, but it's just a snap-on piece, so if you want to, you know, take this off later, you can do that, and then, you know, show off the carburetors, which it comes off there basically like that. Let's get this put back down on there. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's going to conclude Parts Pack 5. Well, I'm sorry, I'm wrong here. We've got one more little piece to put on, guys. We've got to put this, I guess this is the actual intake manifold. So we've got to locate that here on the bottom. Almost forgot about that part. And we're using the same screws, it looks like. All right, so we'll go ahead and get those installed. Missed something here. Let me check this again, you guys. What do we got going on here? There we go. Okay. I think. Well, I missed it again. Okay, I guess that sits up on top like that. Is this the other way? Let's turn this around. Okay. Yeah, all right. I had this piece upside down, you guys. It goes just like this. That makes more sense. Okay. So always pay attention to your instructions, guys. Don't assume you know how it goes. There, that's more like it. Okay. Just double check that one. All right, there we go, guys. Now we're finally done here. Looks really, really nice. This is a nice hefty part again. This lower part here is made out of metal. It's actually going to be part of the engine block. So there we have it. That's the end of Parts Pack number 5, you guys. So I'll come back in just a second. We'll continue on with number 6. All right, you guys. Well, we're moving on to Parts Pack number 6 now. Now you can see that we saved these parts from a previous shipment. I think it was Parts Pack number 2 that came with our hood assembly here. So we're going to be working with this a little bit further today. We're installing the headlight buckets. So we've got these parts that came in Parts Pack 6, which are actually the headlight lenses, the covers on the top of the hood, and the inner lenses here with the for the headlights and the driving lights on the front of the car. I don't think we're going to be actually installing the driving lights today, but the headlight assemblies we're going to be working with. So we've got to get these put together really quick first. I'll go ahead and flip the page here and we'll see what we've got to work with. First thing we've got to do is work with these reflectors here. We'll get those out. And we've got our front lenses here. Make sure my hands are really clean so I don't get any smudges or fingerprints on these. Now we've got these little notches that they're calling for. Let me see if I can locate that here. Yeah, there's a little notch on this one side, so you can see that they only fit in there a certain way. They just snap right into place. Real nice. Okay. Same thing on this one. Just like that. All right, and then we've got these parts are going into our actual headlight buckets. So let's get those installed. So we've got this little flange. You have to tilt it just a little bit, I believe. Let's see here, you guys. Okay, we've got one that... Okay, let's try it like this. I'm not quite getting this one, you guys. Let's see. Place the headlamp assembly inside the left housing. Okay, they're showing it going from the top. You want to tilt it. These flanges are different, you guys. One is bigger than the other, and they're not really super clear on which is which here. There we go. So it looks like it's the smaller one, you guys. The smaller flange goes upward, and you kind of tilt it like this. If I can show you that. Get that in the actual slot, and then just push straight down, and it'll snap right into place. That was a little bit confusing, but it worked out in the end, you guys. Just pay attention again to those instructions. Okay, and then we've got these chrome plated housings for the driving lights that are in the lower front part of the car. Again, I don't think we're installing these into the car today. We don't have the lower section of the grille yet, but we are installing the lenses. So we have the little lenses right here. These do have a little bit of flash on them, so I'm just going to use some sandpaper to clean these up real quick. Just a little bit of flash on the edges. I've just got a regular piece of 600 grit sandpaper here, you guys. Okay. And then these are going... I'm not sure if these have a slot in these. One thing I want to make sure of, if you look really closely, these lenses have some line detail in there. We want to make sure that that is going to be straight. If there's a notch on there, guys, you can barely see it, but it is there. So good, that helps you line it up. You can barely see the notch in the housing itself, but I believe that that's it. Let me try it and see if it works. Alright, you guys, I'm not really comfortable with this. These don't look like they're staying in there very well. I'm afraid that could pop back out later, but yeah, you can definitely see there's a notch there. Unless I'm seeing things. They don't talk about a notch being there, but there's definitely something there. I am not liking this, you guys. It's not wanting to sit down in there flush, and it wants to keep popping back out. So what I'm going to do here, you guys, is it looks like there's still, yeah, there's still some little burrs on the side of this thing. I'm going to clean that up a little bit more. And I think what we're going to have to do here, guys, we're going to have to use a little bit of canopy glue on this. I don't trust that these are going to stay in there. So we have officially come to the point where we're going to have to use some glue, so I can't declare this a completely glue-free model. You may have a different experience with this on yours, but I'm having an issue here, you guys. I am not comfortable with that, leaving that like that. Main thing I want to make sure of too is I want to make sure that these lines are straight. I'm really fussy when I build my model cars, and you have that detail on the headlights. It drives me crazy when I see a model and those are put in there crooked. But the thing is I want to, I'm assuming that when we put this in, this peg is going to be square either up or either to the side. So we should be fine as long as I make my lines square to this peg here. So that's what the idea that I'm going to go with. Let me get some of my canopy glue here. All right. Got a little bit of that, just got a regular toothpick. Just going to dab a little bit right around the edge of this housing here. And not to worry, this will dry nice and clear, and it won't leave any kind of stain in there, you guys. So that's why we're using canopy glue. You can actually use craft glue or Elmer's glue too. It's pretty much the same thing. All right, so let's take a look at this again. Again, I want to make sure I keep these lines on this lens straight. And there we go, you guys. It went down in there, and it'll dry in about 15 minutes, and we'll be good to go. I just don't want to take the chance on that, you guys. I don't understand why they're kind of acting like on the instructions that it's supposed to be a pressure fit or something, but it doesn't fit in there tight enough to hold it. And there is a slight little notch on the back side that you'll see of this little lens. You want to make sure you don't sand that off. Just sand around the edge here and get all these little burrs off of here. But that little notch definitely sits in that little notch that's in the housing itself. That's what helps you keep these straight. They don't mention that in the instructions, which they probably should. I found a few little issues with these instructions so far, guys. We mentioned the one earlier with the door hinge. So hopefully, if the folks at DeAgostini check their social media and they watch these videos, maybe they'll get some feedback on that, and they'll correct that stuff going down the road here if they continue producing these kits. Okay, so we've got that one now ready to go. Okay. All right, same thing again, you guys. It went in there real nice. Now we don't have to worry about those ever coming apart on us, which is a good thing. I'd hate to have that because it looks like it seals inside of these covers here later on, and if they fell off inside there, you're gonna have to take the model all apart to get that fixed. So we won't have to worry about that. Just take the extra little steps when you have to, you guys. So let's move this out of the way now, and I think we can flip to the next page. Nope, we're still here. We're gonna be okay. Now we're gonna be installing the actual lenses into the hood. So we're flipping this upside down, and we're going with these really beautiful lenses here. And make sure we don't get any fingerprints on those. And it looks like I'm gonna blow these off a little bit. This lays in here. Like that. Okay, then we've got our buckets that go over the top. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and put our screws in. Here to the other side. Okay, you guys, let's flip this over and see what it looks like. Didn't get anything on the inside of our lenses, which we wanted to be careful about. Boy, that looks beautiful, you guys. Wow, I love that. That looks really, really cool. And we're gonna have LED lights inside there a little bit farther down the road. That actually comes with this kit. All right, so we've completed parts pack number 6. We're going to be saving these little driving lights, it looks like, to a little bit farther down the road. You'll see those again at some point in the future. So we'll come back and wrap up today's video with parts pack number 7, guys. Be right back. All right, guys, we're back one more time here with you, and we're working on a really simple step here at the end. This is parts pack number 7. This is one of the interior seats. I can't tell if it's the driver. Oh, it's the driver's seat. Okay, so we've got these 2 parts here. We're just putting the basic seat backs together with a couple of screws here. Get this out of the way. And let's just kind of check out this booklet here for you guys really quick again too. I'd like to show you these along the way. You can see we've got some pictures of the Shelby Mustang that they developed for racing as well. these, like I said, these are going to be really cool to collect and put all in a binder here at the end. Some basic information about the legendary Shelby GT350 Mustang. Mr. Carroll Shelby himself. Looks like he's sitting in a Shelby Cobra there. A bunch of the history, how Shelby, you know, started their whole racing program. So if you're into this kind of stuff, it is just absolutely awesome, guys. I am personally a huge fan of the whole Shelby program, and so this is for me, this is absolutely spectacular, you guys. I can't wait to actually sit down and read all these at some point later. Some beautiful photographs as well. But let's go ahead and get to the issue at hand here. Let's get these two pieces put together. As I said, it looks like a really simple step here. We've got the upper back, the lower section here goes just like that, and we're using a couple of FP03 screws here to put this together. These are screws that have a little bit of a washer. I have to switch to my smaller screwdriver here. Just go ahead and run these in. There we go. Okay, guys, we've got our assembled driver's seat, or at least part of it. This is the inner part. The Ford GT cars had some really unique seats in these. Now these are just the upper, or the inner. There's an upper cover that's going to go over this, and it's going to just leave these little kind of copper-colored ring details that are for ventilation of the seats. Remember, these seats were designed for a driver to drive these cars for, you know, long periods of time. They race these in the 24 hours of Le Mans, so comfort on the seats was a high priority. And we've also got some shoulder harness and seat belts that go in the model a little bit later that look like they're going to be really nicely detailed. Perhaps some photo etch type parts. And there you can kind of see a shot of what the seats actually look like with the outer covers put in place. So we'll be coming to those at some point in the future, you guys. So you're caught up for now. I hope you're enjoying this build series. I'm having a blast working on this model again. I'm really impressed with the quality of this model so far. We had a few little issues to work with on our little driving lights down there, but we took care of it. Just use your basic modeling instincts, you guys, and you'll be able to solve all these problems. Nothing serious at all. So this is going to turn out absolutely beautiful. So we'll be back again really soon with another update, you guys. I've actually got a couple more parts packs that just came in. So next week I'll be back with another update. We'll see you then, everybody. Take care and happy modeling, you guys.